Welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks, Jared and Bob here. And I realized, I think at the end of the one of the last episodes, that I kind of left it on a cliffhanger as far as the toilet situation. I've recognized that like that's how I opened up one of the episodes, either like 2 or 3 episodes ago now at this point, however long it's been. And then I never followed up on it. And I'm like, hey, maybe, probably not, because you guys probably hate me just as much as I hate me. But in case you were wondering, the toilet was actually just condensation. The water that was pooling on the ground, can confirm. I know that was kind of like the conclusion we sort of drew on the episode, but I can now confirm 100% that it was the condensation from the tank that was dripping down onto the floor, causing a giant puddle. Now everyone out there is probably like, wow, yeah, no surprise, you're a fucking moron. Yes, this is true. Because I decided to make the life decision where I would throw away like tens of thousands of dollars rather than actually gain any real skills that would help me in life. So yeah, because I made poor decisions as an 18-year-old. I now couldn't even figure out in the moment that the water from the water that was on the ground in my bathroom was from the condensation. So if that's not an example as to why college is a fucking waste of time.
But can you tell me what a byproduct of the Krebs cycle is?
I can. Pyruvate, actually. Yep. And then you also get 36 or 34. It's hotly debated still. ATP after that. So you also get some acetyl-CoA as a byproduct. So yeah, I could tell you all about the Krebs cycle, all about cellular metabolism, what happens inside the mitochondria of the cell, right? It's like, yeah, that's because that's a running joke, right? Everyone's like, oh, everyone knows from high school science, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Yeah, well, I can actually tell you what happens inside the mitochondria that makes it the powerhouse of the cell.
Shut up, nerd.
But yeah, a lot of good fucking that is, right?
Yep. It's very useful.
Yeah. Especially now that like I am basically crippled at this point. I think I might actually look into applying for a handicap sticker. Because I think my spine is broken, and not the Mike Tyson version, but like just defective, right? Like I think my spine is defective. So obviously, if you've been with us somewhat recently on the show, if you're not brand new to the show, within like the last month, I herniated a disc in my lower back, right? Probably almost exactly 1 month ago from today. I think I played golf with Bill on like June 3rd when I actually fucked it up, and today is July 2nd. So I would say I am 98% recovered from the low back injury. There's literally almost no pain. Over the course of 24 hours, I might get like a twinge once, maybe twice. And like maybe then it doesn't happen for another day, right? So like, whatever you want to say. It's super, super rare. Where I feel like if I had to, because James had asked me that before too, during the whole like recovery process, he was like, if you had to put a percentage of like, where do you think you're at now? Where would you put it? And at that time I was like 85-ish, but I think right now I'm at 98. Like, I think I'm almost in the clear, right? Still probably wouldn't feel super comfortable going like balls to the wall, like full swing, golfing, just because again, that was like the mechanism of injury to begin with. So probably not a good idea still, because it's only been 4 weeks. I think give it another 2 weeks, maybe, until I fill you in now, right? So low back herniation, that was old news. I think now I have a herniated disc in my cervical spine, which is pretty fucking awesome. because we went out to dinner. That was Friday night, and I could not turn my head at all. I still can't really turn my head. It's gotten a little bit better. Like Friday night was pretty fucking bad. I would say Friday night was the peak of the pain and the like limitation of movement. Sleeping Friday night was fucking awful. I was in quite a bit of pain in my neck. I couldn't sleep on one entire side. So I had to like sleep on my left side. And sometimes I sleep on my stomach too, with like my head sideways. Couldn't do that. So yeah, sleep did not happen for me Friday night into Saturday. But I would say I'm a little bit better today on Sunday, but still not great. So yeah, I don't know.
Do you want my non-medical diagnosis?
Yeah, I'm dying.
If it came and went that, or if it came and improved that quickly, it's probably not a herniated disc in your neck.
So the couple reasons why I think it might be. It followed the same like pattern that my lower back did. So I golfed on Thursday, right? So I guess if to back up and start from the beginning, I woke up with like a stiff neck on like Tuesday and was kind of like, my neck is kind of like a little stiff, right? But it was just sore, right? There was no real like limitation of mobility, anything like that. And it carried into Wednesday, and I'm like, just fucking like slept wrong. Like I keep sleeping wrong. I'm like, maybe it's my pillow. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, whatever it is. So it started like Tuesday into Wednesday. Thursday night, I golfed. So I woke up on Friday and had no pain. And I was like, okay, cool. Like we're good. I finally stopped. Like I slept right. Instead of being like, oh, you slept wrong. Your neck, you got a pinched nerve in your neck or something. And I felt fine. And then progressively throughout the day, it started getting worse and worse and tightening up until Friday night when we were out was the most severe. And then again, sleeping. So when I originally fucked up my lower back, it did the same thing, right? So like I was golfing with Bill on a Saturday, and then the peak pain was like probably Monday morning. And when I talked to James about that, he said that typically disc injuries and nerve injuries take about 24 hours for the pain to set in. It goes somewhere between 24 and 48 hours is where you're going to get the peak of the pain. And the other part of it was it didn't feel muscular, right? Like I've had a sore neck, I've had a stiff neck, right? Like I've had plenty of like muscular injuries throughout my life, and this didn't feel like that. I had the Theracane like digging into my neck, my shoulder. I had the peanut like on my sternocleidomastoid, right? Like right underneath your ear, through your neck. I'm doing all of it and nothing, no relief, not even any pain, really. Like when I was like smashing the muscles and trying to release, like there was no pain, there were no knots, there was nothing. And I was like, fuck, dude, like I think this is a disc. So again, I don't know for sure. Like obviously you could be right and I could be wrong, but it's following a similar pattern.
Well, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday information changes.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I don't know if you properly acknowledge this. You know what it is?
What?
Probably your T-spine.
Yeah, it's 1000% my T-spine. It's probably T1 or the disc between C7 and T1.
Yeah, your T-spine's locked up.
Yeah. Yep. So I got to text James. I wasn't going to text him today because it was Sunday, but I'll text him tomorrow. And luckily, like I'm off this whole week, so I can be like, hey man, literally anytime this week you have available, you let me know and I will be there. Right? Like it's I'll work around your schedule because I actually have the ability to this week. But yeah, it's not awesome. It's not, it makes driving particularly difficult, right? But it's one of these, like when I want to look to the side, I have to like turn my shoulders with my head. I can't just like turn my head. So again, I've gotten a little bit of range of motion back. But yeah, So I don't think it was like a complete fucking disaster blowout. But you know, if it does end up being a herniated disc, the thing I will say is I would much rather prefer having a herniated disc in my cervical spine than my lumbar spine, because I was literally incapacitated when I couldn't walk, or like I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand. The only thing I could do was lay down. Like, yes, this hurts when I move my neck, but like I can get around that. Like I can move my body, right? Like I can keep my neck in a neutral position and move my body instead. And I can actually have like motion, right? Like I can, again, sitting, standing doesn't hurt. So I can like do stuff, right? I just have to, again, make sure I'm cognizant of like where my head is, which is a little annoying, but like it's way fucking better than having throbbing pain in your lower back anytime you go to move and bend over and have it shoot all the way down your leg through your pinky toe. Because that's what's happening before.
Sounds pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if there's such a thing as vertebral disc cancer or AIDS or something, but I have it.
It does sound a little bit like spine aids.
Yeah, I think I have spine AIDS. So that's pretty fucking fantastic that my discs, my vertebral discs are basically made out of fucking chewing gum at this point. If I can herniate a disc in 2 different locations in my spine within 4 weeks of each other.
Pretty impressive.
Who the fuck does that?
Only the finest.
Yeah. So needless to say, unfortunately, I may be on the shelf for a while for golf activities, which is like really fucking annoying, because obviously I enjoy golf. So, but I enjoy like being a functioning human being a lot more.
Oh, stop. Functioning human being, enough.
I said
shit.
I said functioning, not like peak performance.
I said, yeah. Get the fuck out of here, functioning.
Yeah. By no means am I like any sort of athlete or even in the same universe as I was, 10 years ago. But being able to bend over and pick stuff up and like see stuff that's behind you is kind of cool. I would like to do that more than, having to take like a month off of playing golf.
10 years ago, I think I was an All-American in Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah, I think 10 years ago, I was squatting 420 pounds. So
how the times have changed.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, less than that. 10 years ago, I had a broken back. I broke my back for the first time when I was 21, my lumbar spine. I was squatting like 420 when I was 23. So whatever. That's 8 years ago. I was consistently squatting over 400 pounds. Oh, dude, I wonder why my cervical spine is all fucked up.
It's not. It's your T-spine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the real problem. It's your T-spine. So here we are. I'm literally fucking falling apart. I have vertebral disc AIDS. So pray for me. I'm going to start a GoFundMe.
I was say, like, you don't want my prayers. Those aren't going to get you anywhere.
Prayers up for my discs, my spinal discs. And, everyone knows that money is the cure to AIDS. So through this GoFundMe, you will be helping to cure my spinal disc AIDS. So
have you gone to the bank yet to put all your cash in your bedroom where you sleep? Pretty sure that was the cure.
Yeah. So here we are. It's fucking fantastic. Okay. Well, I have a gripe. Now that we got all that shit out of the way, I got another gripe. Long list of them here. But starting out is the PGA Tour can 1000% go fuck itself. And I know, right? I'm going to start out by like recognizing that, yes, it's only the Rocket Mortgage Classic at Detroit Golf Club, right? Today, that they were playing. It's not like it's not a major, it's not an elevated event. It's typically one of the worst events during the fucking year. This was like the best field they've had in like 12 years or something like this at this event. And I think maybe 11 guys out of the top 30 in the world were in it, right? Or like participated in it. Like 6 of them missed the cut. 6 of the 11 in the top 30 missed the cut. But of the 5 remaining, right, they're still there. It's still the strongest field that this event has had in years. So yes, the Rocket Mortgage Classic at Detroit Country Club is not necessarily like the biggest draw. It's not Augusta. It's not the US Open. It's not even Torrey Pines, right? It's not the Farmers Insurance. However, I did want to watch it, right? Ricky Fowler, who I'm kind of indifferent about, right? Like, I would probably lean more towards liking than hating, but I still fall in that like indifferent range. But he was in it, right? He had the 54-hole lead, shot a 64 yesterday.
Rico was the favorite, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. So he's been playing really great golf over the last like 6 weeks. Came really close to the US Open and choked it away. And it's like, well, what is he going to do? Well, unfortunately, in Detroit today, they were expecting some pretty nasty weather in the afternoon. So for Sunday's round, they had the first tee time at like, I think it was like 6:30, like local time. And they went to threesomes, right? So people that typically don't follow golf, usually on the weekends after they make the cut, Saturday and Sunday, is twosomes, right? A pairing of 2 people. So they went to 3 people in a group, again, just to kind of make sure they got everything done before the nasty weather came in, and obviously had the first group go off at 6:30 in the morning. So by about, I don't know, 11 o'clock, the leaders who were in like the last group was like maybe halfway through, right? They were like making the turn by 11 a.m. and you could not watch it anywhere on TV. The live coverage was on the Golf Channel from, I think it was like 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. or something like that. And then it kicked off at 11 a.m. And after that, you couldn't find it. It wasn't on NBC. It wasn't on ESPN Plus, because ESPN Plus has a deal with PGA Tour Live. So let me clarify, right? Because I do want to be somewhat fair. You could watch a little bit on ESPN Plus, right, through PGA Tour Live. There were 2 featured groups. I think it was Max Homa's group and then like some other group of jabronis. Or you could watch the featured holes, which I think were like, I don't know, 7, 11, 15, and 17. But there was no main feed. There was no main coverage like you just watch everybody. You had to have either selective the groups or pick from one of the holes and watch that on ESPN Plus. Couldn't get it. Nothing. Like all of my normal venues couldn't get it. So then I find something online that says, oh, it's on the CBS Sports app. Okay. Well, so I can't watch it on YouTube TV, right? Because it's not on, you quote unquote cable, right? Even though it's YouTube TV, it's cable. It's not on my ESPN app, right? So then I find out, well, it's on the CBS Sports app. So I'm like, okay, well, I had to go on my Xbox and download the CBS Sports app, to which it wouldn't work. It wouldn't turn on. So then I was like, okay, I'll just go to cbssports.com on my phone and then AirPlay it to the TV. As much as that sucks, like that'll be fine. Won't open on my phone either. So I'm like, what the actual fuck are we doing here? So I had to go on my Xbox to the browser, like the Microsoft Edge browser, go to www.pgatour.com, and then click on like the watch link. And then it gave me a couple different options. And then that's what I ended up watching. So I had to use my Xbox to go on the internet browser to go to pgatour.com to then find the live stream in order to watch this fucking thing. And then after like an hour, it kicked me off. And I was like, what the fuck? So then I had to just refresh the page, go back to pgatour.com, which is super fun to type out on an Xbox controller too, by the way. And then get it back. So that's how I had to watch the final, I think it was like 5 holes. By the time I figured it out and got everything done, I watched the last 5 holes of the leaders. Again, because this is probably like, I don't know, maybe like noon-ish, maybe around 12 o'clock. So pretty fucking sick, huh? Awesome job, PGA Tour.
I mean, I've always had my issues with them. And like, they have this product that they just want nobody to watch. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, they had the US Senior, was it the US Senior Open? Is that what it was? That was on the Golf Channel. Like,
yeah, and it's like
Bernhard Langer is in
yeah.
first place, like running away with the fucking thing. And it's like, oh, but we don't want to watch Ricky Fowler, right? Who's arguably a top 5 golf, like popular golfer in the sport, right? I mean, admittedly, he has been playing very well this year. And I think in the last 2 months, his statistics across the board are all like top 10 in like the major stats. So skills wise, he is a top 10 golfer. I know he struggled for the last few years, but popularity wise, he's easily top 5, right? Despite not even being that good for the last couple of years. And he's in contention with Colin Morikawa, who is a great young player who just won the Open Championship 2 years ago, right? He's won 2 majors already. Tied with Ricky Fowler, one of the biggest names in the sport. And we can't watch it.
They got to figure. I don't know what they have to figure out, but it's just like it really blows. Like anytime anything changes, you can't watch. And
Yeah.
it's like, so obviously it was on CBS. So CBS probably had something on their network, so they couldn't move.
Yep.
And then Golf Channel already had a commitment to the USGA, so they couldn't move. And then they probably didn't have it set up to allow for ESPN Plus streaming.
It wasn't on Peacock either, because I tried Peacock. Shout out to
Peacock
Jones.
NBC though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Shout
out to Jones for letting me use his Peacock, but it wasn't there. So I literally tried all the apps, right? I literally had to go on my Xbox on the internet on my Xbox to watch the fucking thing. And then the best part, like I said, it kicked me off after an hour, whatever. The thing goes to a playoff, right? So we got a 3-man playoff between Ricky Fowler, Colin Morikawa, and Adam Hadwin. They tee off, cool. They all hit their approach shots. Rico is 4 right. The other 2 guys are in the fairway. Rico hits his shot from the rough to about 4 feet for birdie. Morikawa hits it long and into the thick shit on the back of the green, on the, past the green. And Hadwin lands his ball about 3 feet high of the pin and spins it all the way back to about, I don't know, fucking 16 feet, right? So the 2 guys that were in the fairway fuck it up. Rico went 4 right, put it 4 feet from the pin. The guys are starting to walk up to the green. Coverage cuts out. I'm like, what the fuck? So I reload the page, right? Again, the same thing I did before when it kicked me off after an hour. Reload the page. Nothing.
Oh,
Blank
that's probably
screen.
because it went to CBS. That was in the coverage window.
Yeah, blank screen. So I pull it up. I go to my phone. CBSSports.com. Can't get it. Go to YouTube TV. Can't get it. Tried Peacock. Can't get it. ESPN Plus. Can't get it. I finally found it on my phone. I forget where I got it on my phone. I think I went back to PGAtour.com. And by the time it loaded on my phone, Rico had his hands in the air and everyone was celebrating. And I was like, sick. So Rico won. So I missed the fucking ending. So PGA Tour can fucking blow me. Again, I understand it's the Rocket Mortgage Classic. And there was weather that changed the time. But what the fuck are we doing? Like,
this is every event, dude. Like,
you can't just, but so typically their solution to that is PGA Tour Live, right? They have a contracted deal with PGA Tour Live through ESPN Plus. And on ESPN Plus, you can watch the featured holes, 15, 17, 7, whatever the fuck they were. And you could watch the featured groups, Max Homa's group and whoever the fuck else was the early group. You could watch them, but you couldn't watch the main feed. Why can you watch featured holes and 2 featured groups, but you can't watch the main feed when it's literally not available anywhere else?
pretty sure when it's not a major, you can only watch the main feed when the main feed is happening. So like you can't watch it till 2:00. Now the majors are different.
Right.
So that's
Like,
but even you know what though, they're not different too, because like when we watch the Masters in the morning, you can only watch featured groups until whatever time of day. And then when the broadcast actually starts, that's when you can watch the main feed.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense as to people not being able to watch your product.
Yeah.
And then they re-aired it during
Yeah.
the normal broadcast window.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone who knows TV contracts better than me would have to fucking explain this one. Happens all the time in the
Yeah.
non-majors.
It's fucking dumb, right? Because again, the other part of that too is, so obviously they make it earlier in the day, right? So it's a little bit more convenient. Like the round was over, even like the playoffs were over probably by like 2:00, right? Like our time, right? Because it would have been 1:00 in Detroit. Or I don't know if Detroit is in the same, they might be in the same time zone as us.
They're Detroit Central, I think.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, maybe they're not.
No, I think they're the same.
I know someone who had an issue with the flight, but that might have been leaving a central time zone to lay over in Detroit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Detroit is in the same time zone as us.
Okay.
So I don't fucking know. PGA Tour sucks. They don't want you to watch their fucking product, I guess, is what it comes
They
down
don't.
to.
It's the worst. It's so difficult to view. It is really difficult to watch golf. And it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because even a normal event, all the channel changes and early morning coverage, and it's a fucking debacle.
Yeah. Or like on Golf Channel, they'll have
They don't
the
even
Golf
play golf.
Central. They'll have the Golf Central pregame where it's like a bunch of dudes sitting around a fucking table talking about the tournament that's going on right now.
Golf.
They should just show the tournament instead of taking up 2 hours of 4 assholes sitting around a table talking about the tournament that's happening at the time. Just show the fucking tournament that's happening.
Theoretically, you could just show us the tournament.
Yeah. What do I know? I'm just a fucking asshole.
Nothing. You don't know shit.
No, I don't know shit about fuck. So I don't fucking know. Here we are. What other bullshit do we have going on? What else can I bitch about? All right, you want to talk about Southie apartment? I don't know what that means.
Oh fuck. No, because I don't have the article.
Okay, never mind. So what I'll do, so for anyone, here's the sausages being made, I guess. We're doing 2 episodes today, obviously, right? Because it's Sunday of 4th of July, and we don't want to do them on Tuesday because Tuesday is America's birthday. So we got shit to do, right? Places to be, things to do. So we're doing 2 today. So I'm a little, we're going to keep these a touch on the shorter side, right? We're going to try and keep it closer to like an hour for each because we have to go back to back here. But also, we need some shit to talk about, right? So the funny thing here that I saw the other day is I think in the last episode, either the last episode or the one before, we were talking about how New York City, thank God for them, they had all the answers. They were going to solve global warming because they were going to make pizza places put carbon emissions fucking filters or whatever on their chimneys, right? Well, now the big plan for New York City is they're going to start, well, this isn't official, right? They haven't actually passed any legislation, but they have talked about implementing a program that would pay residents of New York City to house immigrants in their fucking homes.
Much do they pay chart or how much are they paying?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Probably not enough.
But it's like, what are we doing here? What is this, like foster a fucking illegal immigrant? Like
adopt an illegal immigrant?
Yeah, like you're gonna foster a Guatemalan or a Mexican or like, you know what I mean? Like what the fuck? What is this? You're gonna pay people to house illegal immigrants?
Yeah, man. So I know I've said it a lot of times on here. I will never understand the illegal immigrant thing. I really won't. Like I seriously will never get it. And I don't think anyone, I see, like, usually it's like, oh, someone smarter than me can explain that. I think I said that earlier. I don't know if someone smarter than me can explain this one. I just don't, I do not get the illegal immigrant thing.
As far as what?
Like, why is it okay? Like, in it, so like, I know this specifically is like, okay, so we're gonna start paying people to house them. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, again, I definitely could be missing something. This is way above my fucking knowledge of society. But if they're here, and I know we changed the name, but they're illegal immigrants. I don't know what they call now, undocumented.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're over the age of 18 in here, you're supposed to have an ID, right? If you're a citizen, is that the case?
I don't think
Because
you need an ID.
You don't need a driver's license, but don't you need an ID?
To like, yeah, I would say it's not, it's so this is like the caveat, right? So it's not mandatory, right? There's no law that says you have to have an ID, but if you want to like do stuff, you need to have an ID.
Then you have to have an ID. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So
if you want to like open a bank account, right? Or like
work.
any of that. Yeah, or work. Like you need some form of ID.
Okay. So that just, again, it's when they used to be called illegal immigrants, what, like, isn't the name implying that something's wrong here?
You would think.
Because don't we have other categories where it's like people who, like, isn't it like a refugee, people who come from places that are so fucking shitty that we're trying to give them a home?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a different category altogether.
Yeah.
So not only are what these people doing is pretty much illegal, like illegal entry. Like, bro, what would happen if I fucking went to like, say I took a vacation in Mexico, came back and didn't have my passport? What would happen to me? I'd be fucking stuck in Mexico, wouldn't I?
Yeah. Or you'd have to sit in a fucking customs office for however many hours until they can figure out who you are.
So why is it so strict on us? But if you come illegally, now they're gonna try to like place you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, it's something that
Yeah. So it's
I'll
for
never.
your example, it's easier. Well, it doesn't mean it's easy, but it's easier to get back into your home country if something gets fucked up, right?
True.
Like,
But either
but
way,
if
but
if you don't say you don't have a passport and you want to go to, I don't know, Portugal or Italy or literally any fucking country in Europe, guess what? You ain't going. They ain't gonna let you into Italy without a passport, right? Like you need some form of documentation that says you are who you are and you're entering a foreign country.
but if I was Italian, I just said, I'm gonna kind of like sneak my way in, and it's like you can put yourself in the lottery pool for housing in New York. Like, is that like, do you put your name in? Do you get a raffle ticket? How the
Yeah,
fuck does that
well,
work?
that's the other thing too. If these people are undocumented, how do they know who they're going to assign to the, like, say
Unless
I
it's a
live,
ruse, unless it's a ruse to get them documented.
yeah, because theoretically, right, if they're undocumented, where is the system that exists to know who they really are?
Yeah,
So
so maybe
to play
this
the
is
game, if I live in New York City and I want to apply to house an undocumented immigrant in my house and receive, whatever it is, $500 a month, say, how does the government know which illegal or undocumented immigrant they're placing in my house if they're undocumented and there's no way to trace who these people are?
so this
Doesn't
this
that isn't that like a paradox in and of itself?
this must so do you think this is a method of creating documentation?
I mean, it could be.
Because you figure if you went to the pool to get the free housing, then they've got your name, they have your address. The rest of this shit can be fucking blown up, but and if you really want to get away, like it'll be hard to find you. Um, yeah, so is that like a thing? Like if you give these people addresses, then they won't be undocumented anymore?
I have no
And then
idea.
if they're no longer undocumented, then they would be contributing to taxes and things like that. In a theoretical sense, we're not talking how
Right,
the real world works.
right.
But then again, why would an undocumented person do that?
I don't know.
Unless
Yeah, because it's
again,
not like
unless
they're getting money. I mean, they get a place to stay.
they get a place to stay, then they can just jump shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's always, every time it comes up, it just confuses the shit out of me.
yeah. It really doesn't make a ton of sense.
And yeah, because it came up with the our most recent election last fall, where there was something about voting to give undocumented people driver's licenses
Yeah.
or
Yep.
something, and I was
Yep.
like very confused as to why. Like, why would you do that? But I
Yeah.
guess if you give them a driver's license and they're no longer undocumented, there's fucking literal documentation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one way of looking at it.
I guess. Like, I don't understand. Like, why would, because what advantage does New York have to bring more people into their fucking city? Because I assume this is the city, right? Not just the whole
Yeah.
state.
It's New York City.
Yeah. So, what advantage does New York have to bring in, I assume, non-tax paying residents?
Yeah. That's the other part of it too. Even though they become documented, like if they have like a license or an ID or something, they're not paying taxes. They're not citizens,
But if they work,
right? They don't have social security numbers.
well,
Like they don't,
so that's the thing, is like they would have to be working a legitimate job,
right.
but can they get a legitimate? I don't know. So I genuinely don't know that answer.
I don't either.
So like I don't know if they can get a legitimate W-2 without a social or a what is it, an alien ID? They probably changed the name of that too.
Yeah.
Um,
A green card
yeah, whatever.
or visa. work visa,
whatever
yeah,
methods there are. Like you can provide a few. Like it used to be an alien ID, which was you weren't quite a citizen, but you were here and it was cool. Is that a green card?
I think so.
I just remember filling out paperwork at Stop and Shop and it was like AID.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe like that's the thing, I guess. Like you figure if you give them somewhere to stay, then they'll enter the system. I don't know. Because what other motivation is there? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know. Too stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Same here.
But if anyone does know, let me know, I
Yeah,
guess.
feel free. Feel free to
DM.
reach out to us on
But again, you're gonna have
Sarcasm
to
Speaks Pod on Instagram or Sarcasm_Speaks on Twitter.
you're gonna have to explain it like I'm a fucking drunk 5-year-old though.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
And you can't just say like compassion, like, oh well, we feel bad for these people. That's not a reason.
We have to help them.
Yeah, that's not a reason.
Yeah.
Someone has to benefit somewhere. Politicians aren't fucking nice, so
Right. All right. Well, that being said, you want to start wrapping this up so we can take a break and start part 2?
I pulled up the Selfie apartment thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So High and Dry, Jim Jeffries' latest stand-up special.
Mm-hmm.
You like Jim Jeffries. I like Jim Jeffries. Good special.
Yeah.
Not as good as Intolerant, which I watched immediately after. That was fucking awesome. So I even rewatching it, like knowing some of the jokes were happening, because I've probably watched that one like 3 times. I almost went back and watched some of the old ones where he would sit there and like chug a beer on stage.
Yeah.
But High and Dry, it's probably like an hour, maybe a little bit longer. Why not? Right?
Yeah.
You're off this week.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I got plenty of time.
Yeah, if you genuinely don't like him, then I guess you won't like this because this is him. If you don't know who he is, watch Intolerant first.
Yeah, Intolerant is fucking fantastic.
So
let's involve Gary Jeffries.
We should involve Gary Jeffries. Dude, that's my thought. Like, that's what I got.
Sorry.
That is my final thought.
I thought you were saying that and then was going to go to the Southie apartment.
No, because that's another topic. No, that is my final thought.
All right, we'll get that in the next episode.
Yes.
That's the
above category.
That's a preview. That's what we like to call a cliffhanger in the biz.
Yeah.
So come back for the next episode to find out what he's going to say in the about
hey, preview. I won't know what the fuck is going on there.
Yeah.
But yes, Jim Jeffries. If you like him, High and Dry would recommend. It's not as good as Intolerant. If you don't know who Jim Jeffries is, watch Intolerant first. High and Dry won't be as good, but it's stand up. It's fine.
All right. My final thought. So Amy and I went to IKEA today for the first time ever. For me and her. Neither one of us have ever been
to an IKEA.
No.
Fuck.
So
you go to Avon?
Yeah.
Or is there another one?
Yeah, that's the only Stoughton, Avon. That's the only one that I know of. So that's also the closest one to us.
Same here. I just didn't know if there was one in Rhode Island.
So first time ever. My initial thoughts, what the actual fuck is going on? Like, talk about a store that makes less than 0 cents, right? So like when you first walk in,
well, the arrows generally guide you the right way.
Well, yeah, I'll get to that. So you first walk in the door, you go up the stairs, right? And you're just like kind of there. I had to take a piss, so I went into the bathroom, came out. Amy had to pee too because she's pregnant, and that's what they do, right? That's what pregnant people do. They got to pee all the time. So while I'm waiting for her to come out, I just kind of take a walk around like that opening level, and there's just like a daycare for children right there.
Oh yeah, there is. I
And
haven't
it's
been there in
like-
a wicked long time.
Like, what the fuck is this? People just like drop off their kids at
Yeah.
IKEA?
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. That's really fucking weird. And then I walk to the other side and it's like the fucking exit. Like it's all like checkouts, but every checkout is like a self checkout and it's super weird. There's a lot of fucking people there. It's very overwhelming. And I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? And then there's like a little like breakfast nook that you can get like breakfast stuff in. It's a Swedish breakfast. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I'm standing there. I check out those two places. I'm already like, all right, I got my hackles up here already. And Amy comes out of the bathroom. Then we go up the second set of stairs to go to the main floor. And it's like, start here, right? And it's everything that they say in English. Underneath it, they say it in Swedish.
For all the Swedish speakers.
For all the Swedish speakers.
The Avon Stoughton line.
Yeah. That like to go to IKEA just to hang out, apparently. So the whole point being we were looking for a new dining room table. And we want one that's way smaller. Like right now we have like a traditional dining room table that's big. It has like the leaf insert. It holds 6 people, right? Like we want something smaller that like at most can hold like 4 people because we want to open up the space in the current dining room downstairs because obviously all the baby shit, right? And we don't want a massive fucking like old whatever it is, oak or fucking cherry mahogany table for this kid to like start to run into and shit. So again, we want something a little bit more compact. We don't really have a ton of shit going on at the house anyway, so smaller. We have the bar too. We have the bar top that has 4 bar seats. And then so again, we're just trying to downsize, create a little bit more space, right? In the dining room. So cuz we know that the baby shit is going to be everywhere. So we literally get up there. The very first thing we see, very at the front, underneath the sign that says begin here, is the perfect dining room table that we're looking for. And it has chairs too. Now, obviously, if anyone's ever been to IKEA before, you recognize that you can't get the complete set, right? So it's like they set it up in the store on display as like this table with these chairs, but it's like it's an a la carte service. So the table is like $300 and then each chair is $400 sold. I'm sorry, 400, Jesus Christ, $40 sold individually, right? So you got a $300 table. And if you want 4 chairs, that's another $160. You're looking at $460 after tax. You're spending over $500 for this set, which whatever, as far as a dining room table goes, it's fine. I mean, like I said, the one we have when it was brand new was probably at least $1,000, right? It's a very nice old dining room table, right? But we don't want it anymore. So perfect. We got it. And I'm thinking like, well, this is fucking great. Like, how much better could it be? So, but, Amy and I look at each other and we're like, yeah, let's just, let's take a walk through, right? Because we figure, you can walk through and if you don't find anything, you can just kind of leave. Well, that is not the case. Anyone that's been to IKEA before, when you heard me say that last sentence, you probably just burst into fucking laughter because you cannot just leave IKEA. It reminds me of the meme of Ned Stark.
One does not simply just leave IKEA.
One does not simply just leave IKEA. It's fucking impossible to get out of that place. So they have signs up where like every section is numbered, right? So it's like section 1 through, I think there's 30. I think there's 30 sections, right? And each one corresponds with a different thing, right? If 1 is fucking, I don't know, kitchen, 2 is bedroom, dining room, you know what I mean? Like each number corresponds with 1. 1's storage or something, so we got all these things. And there's arrows on the ground that point you in the direction of how to walk through, how to progress your way through IKEA, kind of like a fucking game board, like you're living in fucking Jumanji, which is what it felt like. It felt like I was in Jumanji.
It's a fucking zoo in there, so yeah.
Yes.
Where did you go?
after the tournament ended. So probably like 2:30, 3
Oh, you
o'clock.
went today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Today.
weekend at IKEA. Actually, you might have
Yeah.
saved a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. But it was a
Still
Sunday on a
chaos.
rainy day, right? Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck else are
chaos.
people going to do? So, IKEA fucking packed. Just people literally everywhere. And like, if you follow like the main path on the floor, it's like people just like weaving in and out. I will say though, they have really cool carriages. They have 4 like independent swivel um casters on their carriages. So like it's not like at a shopping place, like your typical Market Basket, Stop and Shop, whatever, where the rear 2 wheels are fixed, like they only go straight north and south, and then the front wheels are free flowing, so you can kind of move. So it's kind of like rear wheel drive. The carriages at IKEA, they're all wheel drive. Those fucking things spin, so it's like super maneuverable. Those are pretty cool. I didn't get one, but I watched other people push them around, and I was like, that's kind of cool. But absolute fucking utter chaos to the point where like I thought I was gonna have a fucking panic attack at one point. I was like, there's too many fucking people. Like people are just kind of like bobbing and weaving in and out of each other. Nothing makes sense. It's pointless to walk in like the main path where the arrows are on the floor because people are just cutting across, doing whatever. Like you just walk through the sections. And by the time we got to like section number 4, I think we were like, yeah, I'm kind of good, right? Kind of, we can leave, right? We got through whatever it is, through like the bedroom, dining room, kitchen, all that shit. And then the rest of it was like shit that didn't really appeal to us, right? Like again, it's like storage, kitchen utensils, lighting was another one, plants was another section. So we're like in section 6, right? When we decide like, all right, cool, like let's get out of here. And we just kind of see like there's like an exit sign, and we're like, oh, let's just follow that. And we go that way, and it's like, that did not help. That actually put us back. Like we like doubled back to wherever the fuck we were going. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, where are we? So I'm looking at the signs on the ceiling. Again, they're all numbered 1 through 30, whatever. We just start walking on the path. And then I see there's like a separate sign that says like, you are here in like section 6. And it's like, use this pathway to jump to section 9. I'm like, all right, cool. I like that. Let's skip ahead. So we get out. So we take the little pathway, and now we're in section number 9. And I'm like, well, where's the fucking exit? There's no exit. So we walk a little bit, and we get into like section 10, and we see the same little sign that's like, use this shortcut to get to section 14. So we go through there. We're like, okay. Then you got to walk a little bit, and you get to section 16. And it's like, use this shortcut to get to section 19. It's like, all right, cool. Let's do that. And it's like, there is no direct fucking way to get out of IKEA. Once you enter, you're fucked.
Well, there's definitely a way, they just don't tell you.
They don't tell you. And the only way to get through is just to progress through these shortcuts. And there's no shortcut to be like, oh, you're in section 6. This shortcut will get you to section 25. It's like, you're in section 6. This shortcut will get you to 9. This shortcut from 11 will get you to 14.
Because
like
they're hoping you buy shit.
Yeah, it's like, get me out of this store. I just want to leave. And then we finally get to the end, and then you get out through whatever the last section is, like 28, 29. And then section 30 is this massive fucking warehouse of shit.
Yeah, it's like
shelves.
Like a Costco.
Yeah. And it's like, wait, you mean to tell me that like people are supposed to go through, find something that they like, and then at the very end, you now have to search the fucking warehouse to find where it is? Because that's what people were doing.
Yeah, so theoretically, though, you do take a picture.
Well, yeah, and it tells you where it is.
And you follow the directions.
Yeah. But it's like, what the fuck is this place? And then, like, we can't get out of there because all the cashiers are, like, taken up. So you're trying to, like, weasel in between people. And then you finally get out through like the checkout area. And then it's like, holy shit, you get out of there. And it was like, talk about a terrible fucking experience. I will literally never, ever, ever, ever go back to IKEA ever again for the rest of my life. And I am a one and done. And the worst part of it, the hilarious part for you and for anyone else that's watching or listening, We found exactly what we wanted before we even entered the maze. Before we even got into the fucking labyrinth that we couldn't escape, we found the table that we wanted and the chairs.
See, you really just needed to turn around there.
We needed to turn around and not even enter the fucking labyrinth. But we did, because we had no idea what we were doing, and we regretted every second of it. When we left, Amy and I were like, that was fucking ridiculous. There was way too many people. Like, it was absolute fucking chaos.
And you've never even built something from them.
This is true. So
your terrible in-person experience saved you the trouble of having to follow their shitty directions.
Yeah. So we know what we want, right? So we're just going to order it online and have it delivered to the house.
Seriously consider how much it is to have someone put it together for you. I'm not kidding. Depending on how much it costs. I don't know how much it costs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I guess it's just a table and chairs. So
yeah,
I've done that before from them, a table and chairs.
Yeah. So that's the fucking IKEA experience, the one and only, one and done. So hope people got a kick out of that. So thank you all for watching, listening, wherever you're at. If you're on YouTube, again, don't forget to subscribe. Click that button above. Give us a thumbs up, like, rate, review wherever you are, even if you're audio only. You can leave us a review on Spotify and Apple. So go do that, por favor. Gracias, mis amigos. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. Website sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. You can also go to moonbrew.com, which I will have in the next episode, is my Moonbrew tea, my sleep tea. The promo code currently is Jared16159 for now. I was finally able to get in touch with someone from the company about switching it to Sarcasm Pod. I don't think it's gone into effect yet, but it will soon. So it's coming, finally. Like I said, I've been on them to change this for literally since I got it. So for now, it's still Jared16159. Shout out to the person that bought some like 2 weeks ago. But the promo code will change to Sarcasm Pod, so it matches all of our other sponsors, like grillyourassoff.com. So go to grillyourassoff.com, use Sarcasm Pod, and that will save 10% off your entire order every single time you check out. Likewise, at mybookie.com, if you use that promo code, Sarcasm Pod, they will double your first deposit up to $1,000. So that is going to do it. Until next time for you guys, and about 10 minutes for us. Good night, everybody.